All right, Tristan, let's talk about two teams that I think are high up there for everybody as their early picks for this year and the favorites for possibly a Super Bowl. The Kansas City Chiefs, the Philadelphia Eagles. Look, I know we still have one game left. As of recording this right now, it's Sunday night, and we still have the Monday night game left. So 49ers and Jets are still on the table. We get that. But as it stands right now, are the Chiefs and the Eagles early season favorites to you?
The Chiefs absolutely are. I mean, I feel like really, especially after that Ravens game.
And until the game tonight, you would have said the Eagles were.
Yeah, right. But no, the Chiefs look terrific. They look better than last year. Thank you, Buffalo, for Xavier Worthy. That boy, he's going to be
anything we can do to help you guys win another Super Bowl.
Seriously, we appreciate it. He's going to be a problem. The Eagles are the more interesting question, even though I'm a Chiefs fan. Obviously, the Chiefs are the favorite. Yes, moving on to the Eagles. I think the Eagles are so talented. I think, obviously, the addition of Kellen Moore was huge. I mean, how big of a difference was the offensive play calling from last year to this year? I mean, it was night and day, right? Just in that one game. It looked amazing. Defense looked a lot better. They've got some players. Reed Blankenship. They've got some players in the secondary. The defensive line for the Eagles, though, not as dominant as they should be. I feel like these Georgia players they've drafted haven't really come into their own like we kind of maybe expected or hoped they would. We'll have to see how that develops. The question I kind of want to throw back at you, I'd say yes, obviously the Eagles are one of the favorites. They looked good. I'm going to say it quietly for my Philadelphia fans, but hell, they might be saying it louder than me. Are we a little worried about Jalen Hurts?
Were you waiting for the Eagles fan to drop down out of your ceiling and just decapitate you? Yeah.
He was a little all over the place, right?
Yeah, but he had to be. Like, it was just one of those games. And
did he have to throw across his body interceptions? I don't know if he had to do that.
No,
that
probably not.
In the rule book.
Probably not. But also Brazil, also Friday night.
You're kind of giving him a mulligan.
Dude, and I said this before. I said this last week. Like, the first week of games is always skewed. And then also the first week of games in another country on a soccer field is different. So I'm not prepared to answer that question right now because I don't think we've seen a fully judgeable performance from Jalen Hurts right now. Now, I know you moved past the Chiefs pretty quick, okay? And I know you're they're favorites and blah, blah, blah. The Ravens were not bad.
Ryan.
And the Texans were not bad either. So I don't know if you can say that the Chiefs are just the favorites and just move on and just glaze past it.
Put the Texans aside.
Okay.
Let's go to Chiefs-Ravens for a second.
Okay.
What in the hell gives you confidence after watching that game that
Tristan, it was a big toe away
from overtime? From them going for two?
They would have went for two, and they probably would have gotten it.
Probably. We don't know. They couldn't even score. They couldn't score a touchdown, but they definitely would have got the two.
But you're prepared to say that the Ravens are a much less team after they almost tied the game and potentially won?
First off, Chiefs were sloppy. There were penalties galore. Hollywood Brown wasn't playing.
Okay.
Here's the main thing for me. Lamar Jackson. I like Lamar. You like Lamar. He missed two wide open game-winning touchdowns. He missed the one to, I believe it was, can't remember who it was in the quarter. He had one dude in the corner on a post. If he would have put it right, it was a touchdown. And then he missed Zay Flowers, absolutely wide open. My grandma could have thrown that one, and she's dead. What gives you confidence that they could beat him in the playoffs? Because that's my thing.
Well, because it's Lamar Jackson. And look, exactly. I will say this.
Yes.
Lamar Jackson seems to only be good at one thing at a time. He can't be good at running and passing. He can't be good at passing and running. It's either the season of running or the season of passing. Last year, he was a great passer. Didn't run that much. But, oh boy, the other night, he looked back in like he did in 2022. Like he was much lighter. He lost some weight. He was just the way he was moving. He was more dynamic in the pocket. Like if he could just get the arm dialed in, and I think that his legs were just like outrunning the passes sometimes. Like I don't think he was used to throwing on the run as much as he had been like back in 22. So if he can find a way to balance that out and have a good run and a good passing game, then I think he's going to be deadly. But Another thing I want to mention is...
Can I just interject real quick on the because it's on the rushing? Yep. No, just to add to your point. He ran 16 carries, 122 yards. That's not sustainable over the course of this whole season. He was clearly unleashing because it was the Chiefs who really wanted this game. I assume they'll dial it back, but he can't do that all year. Like, it's not possible.
How many yards did he run?
122.
He may have been the leading rusher overall in week one.
By far. Oh, no, he was. He's a leading rusher in the league. Too, yes.
Yeah. That's crazy. I didn't realize he ran that much.
Right. 273.
One thing I will say, speaking of tight ends and big toes and whatever, can we now say that you and I were right about the Mark Andrews situation? Like, he's done. He's not the tight end of this team anymore. It's clearly Isaiah Likely. He is a beast. He is phenomenal at tight end.
And you know the big stat to me? It's not even the yards, it's the targets. Mark Andrew, 2 targets, Isaiah Likely 12. Leading target share, Isaiah Likely. I saw that last year and I was like, Likely's really good. And then this year, Mark Andrews in fantasy was getting drafted with like Kelsey and Laporta. And I thought that was absurd. Me and you talked about it. We said, I wouldn't touch Mark Andrews in the 10th round. You know what I mean? Yeah. Just because the injuries in the past. We'll see if it sustains, but Likely is clearly not just is he the tight end, he's their second best receiving option behind Zay Flowers.
The pass that he caught in the back of the end zone to almost win the game was a terrific pass. And again, if he would have just had a little bit smaller foot, it would have been a touchdown. But I do think that this Ravens team, I think a lot of it was also like the week one jitters. I know.
I'll tell you what the jitters were. It was that logo that's got a K and a C in it because he can't beat Daddy, Ryan. He just can't.
All right, yeah. I mean, neither can Josh Allen. I mean, I'm used to it, okay? I know Ravens fans are just getting used to this. Like, it's new to them. It's fresh. Yeah. It happens a lot, okay? Happens a lot.
That's true.
I know that the Chiefs are clearly your favorite. I just don't think they have that big of a gap between the Ravens and the Texans. I do think that all three of these teams deserve a podium spot.
I mean, I agree with you. I don't necessarily disagree. I'm looking at it through the lens of eventually it's going to be a playoff game where you have to play Kansas City. And I just have no faith that Lamar can beat him. Can Stroud? I don't know. We haven't seen Stroud go against Mahomes, but it seems like Lamar just can't get past him.
I have a hard time telling where Kansas City fan ends and realist football fan begins.
You don't think I'm being a realist by saying I don't trust that Baltimore can beat him in the playoffs?
I don't know if you are or not. Because I get mixed because you're a Kansas City fan. So I don't know how much of it is just like a little bit of bias.
So let me answer that with the best way I can be possible. Honestly, as a Kansas City fan, not analyzing football, because honestly, when I do this show, and you know this, I swear I try to be as unbiased as possible. I don't ever want to get on here and give biased takes because one, that's not fun. Just as a fan, pretending we don't even do this. As far as quarterbacks, I'm scared for my team to face in the playoffs. The number one is Joe Burrow. I am terrified of the Chiefs playing Joe Burrow because he's beaten us.
PTSD.
Right. He's beaten us in the playoffs. He's beaten us in the regular season. He scares me. Number two is Josh Allen. He's beaten us in the regular season. He always puts on the cape. It always comes down to the wire. Number three is Lamar Jackson. I promise you, if they said right now the Chiefs playoff game is against the Ravens, I really wouldn't be concerned at all. Maybe that's not fair, but that's just how I feel.
You mentioned that Lamar Jackson missed, you pointed out 2 plays where he missed wide open targets. If he would have nailed those 2 wide open targets, would your opinion of the Ravens completely change? Were those 2 targets enough to, if he would have nailed them, would you have said, oh, okay, this Ravens team is something to worry about?
If he would have gotten them and gotten the 2 points, if he would have won the game, yes.
Okay.
And it's really not even losing, it's the miss them. And it's a little bit unfair because you're asking the guy to carry the team, and he carries the team so well all night long, and he makes one mistake and you crucify him, but it's like they wouldn't even be in that position without him. He's so good.
I know I said last thing, but I forgot this. You got Derrick Henry. Can we please use him a little bit more?
They have no idea what offensive scheme they want to run with Derrick Henry. I thought it would be solely based around RPOs with Derrick Henry, right? Isn't that just a logical scenario? It's like, so that way the defense has to think, do we want to defend Lamar? Do we want to defend Henry? Do we want to defend the pass? Hell, half the time he wasn't even out there. They were putting Justice Hill in. I will be interested to see how they adjust because it was clear Some people are going to say Derrick Henry's washed. No. They didn't put him in any advantageous situations. They hardly used him. Is Baltimore going to figure out how to use Derrick Henry, or did they just burn $8 million? We'll find out probably by about week 6 or 7.
Derrick Henry played 37 snaps.
There you go.
Lamar Jackson played 79.